Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hello, hello, everybody. We are here. We are day late and short.
Yes, $1 million short, honey.
Okay, but we here.
Be here. All righty. So, what'd you think about this episode of?
You know, what I really thought about it, to be honest, was that what happened because it feels like this is a cutoff. It doesn't feel like it's the end of the season. It feels like it's more. I don't know how much more. I mean, I guess King inquired more. Uh, but I'm gonna give it about a 5. I mean, it wasn't spectacular. Um, I know everything was buzzing around the Met Gala, but the Met Gala was just, I mean, Toya, I pulled it off, but it was just okay. You know what I mean?
It was
So
mid.
yeah, so that's what I got.
Also, yeah, it does seem like they were shortchanged. Um, I also feel like I wish we would have just got to see the planning of the Met Gala, but you know what? It was nothing to see because Toya didn't let nobody in on it. So
I don't
that's
think
why.
we really saw very much of the other planning, though. It feels like because if I'm not mistaken, I think I had the thought that it always felt thrown together, or that we didn't really get to see. Like it didn't feel like it was something that was happening throughout the season. It felt like it was something that was happening just at these last couple of weeks. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
So I don't know. Like I say, Toya pulled it off. It was nice, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah, she only raised $10,000.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's what I was like. Oh, they went.
Yeah, and I wondered, like, nobody was buying the art. Well, let's go.
So okay, so this episode is called the Met Gala mishap,
Meg Gala mishaps.
and so it's all kind of mishaps going on here. A lot of things I noticed.
Hmm.
So we're gonna get started with remember when you were asking what was Dr. Contessa in that sprinter doing? You thought she was Ubering or something?
Hmm.
Well, we find out she's out here doing mobile medicine.
Hmm.
What do you think about that?
I knew she was doing something working in that damn van. I know she wasn't just driving that van around for no reason.
I said, okay, Dr. Contessa. She said, we ain't got the building ready yet, but honey, I'm gonna come to you.
Yeah,
Yes,
just out there hustling,
yes.
okay?
Every day I'm hustling. So, honey, she was hustling her ass off. I said, well, go ahead.
I wonder what she was doing in that van. I know damn well it wasn't just to drive around.
Yeah. So I thought that was, she's making a way.
Innovative.
Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
I said, just like when you get like, well, you don't get a whole exam, but when they have those, the mobiles come around for like the
Hmm.
breast exams and all that. So
Hmm.
I said, why not? Evidently, she must be on the up and up because she's able to do it. So
Hmm.
she's met all the certifications or whatever. So I thought, okay, that's cool. And then we have who else at the beginning? We had Toya, I guess, getting the kids chicken
Right.
fingers. And we got Dr. Heavenly hollering at Dr. Damon to wash his hands. She said she acted like Toya.
Hmm.
So this episode, it starts off the first scene. We have Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie, and they're meeting in the park. They're either having a lunch or something. They're drinking some kind of smoothie. And Dr. Simone was filling Dr. Jackie in on what Cecil told her about what Curtis had said to King. And
Hmm.
Dr. Jackie said, the first time she heard about it was when they were on the way back, and Curtis asked Steve, did he think that, basically that was he too rough or did he
To
disrespect
him,
her or
Kendall.
something? Uh-huh.
Hmm.
And I guess that's when her antennas went up. Like, what the heck? what you say? And so she was like, for him to say that they were out of order, and she was saying, we went out of order and we still didn't get no baby. So basically, you need to correct that. She said, I'm with you when you're right, but this, you're not right. And I'm thinking, that's her friend, and plus they were her patients. Steve Quad was her patient. Why would you say that? So what'd you think about that part?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, she know what he meant, like just like what I was saying, but yeah, you always find, that's a foot in your mouth, like
Yes.
when you start to go down that type of road, you know what I mean? Because yeah, there are not all of the things always go that way, but it is something to be said, which is why I was saying, like, I don't know that for me, there was nothing wrong with what he said. I wish he hadn't said it in that particular setting. And even maybe not with that intent, you know what I mean? Like maybe you kind of bring it in a different type of way,
Yes.
but yeah, so I thought it would, what I think I left that scene with was like, they seem to be really concerned about making sure they don't piss Squad off.
Yeah.
More than usual. They never had been before.
Well, I think because that was her patient, and she don't want the
Well,
what's the
for sure.
So also, as they're having their conversations, they're talking about Toya and this Med Gala and how Toya is not actually communicating with the women, and how like Steve and Dr. Mimi had gave so much money the year before, and that Toya did not want to include the newbies in the being founders of the Med Gala. How she didn't, but she still wanted their money. So she was just saying, or they were saying that,
go ahead.
They were saying like, you have to reach out, and if you want something, look at the bigger picture. If she probably would have included them and actually communicated with the ladies, I really believe she would have been able to raise more than $10,000 damn dollars.
For sure. Well, it would seem to me, now this is what we're gonna give her props on. I feel like when it comes to Housewives universe, this is the first time we've been able to see like a charity event per se, and you actually are raising some sort of money. On the flip side, I think there is an art to it. So we'll get to Mimi because I got some words for her, but there's an art to that particular realm, and part of it would be that you don't just try to recoup money in ticket sales, but you have to figure out a way to fundraise,
Yes.
So part of that would be, you would reach out, because everybody don't have to be a founder to be able to donate, you know what I mean? Like, but you will reach out to sponsors, you will reach out to, people in the community, you know what I mean?
Don't seem like she was reaching out to nobody to me.
It didn't seem like it either.
Because when she made the comment that she started to call Phaedra, she should have called Phaedra. I would have called everybody that I would have had in my Rolodex, part of Bravo. I'd have been like, hey, not that they had to come, but
that would be, I guess, the general way that you would fundraise. You would pull out your book, and call some folks. Hey, I'm trying to raise some money for this. So, like I said, it always feels like it's something that's thrown together. I like that she seemed to bring some more structure to it, so it doesn't feel like it's just an event for the show.
Yeah.
And I know, like I said, I give them props when they go to when they do their trips. They'll go back into the community and provide some type of service. And I really like that part about them. So I'm saying that to say I'm not trying to make it seem like they just do things for the show. I don't think that per se, but I am saying this particular thing, this is the third one. It's the third season. We've watched it, and I'm still feeling like I don't really have a good idea of what the point is besides a party for the end of the season.
Well, each time they gave money away.
They did, but I'm saying like it just feels like I don't feel like I have a good grasp on what their purpose is. Because every year it seems to change. Like I like the idea that they are doing the scholarships. I would feel like that should kind of be one of the main focuses. You know what I mean? Like over and over and over again, because you can get more and more students. You know what I mean? Students. And yeah, and I like that idea. You know what I mean? Like, because there does have to be a side note, pin in that. There does have to be another way to encourage people of color, us African Americans specifically, to want to go and do these things and go be doctors, go be dentists, go be lawyers, whatever.
Yeah. So also let's go here. So yeah, so as we see that she's planning everything, and the ladies feeling like they're being left out as far as they don't know what's really going on. Then we have the next scene. We have Steve and Dr. Mimi. And they're sitting there, they're talking about how they're planning to move. And I had mentioned in an earlier live that I thought they had moved because I seen them snow or sledding in the backyard. About like letting us know that with Stevie, he's actually in speech therapy and they're planning whatever activities for him. Seems like he's doing better since he's in speech therapy. They had spoke about this, the house that they were building that was over 8,000 square feet. And Dr. Mimi, Steve goes on to affirm her in the confessionals, telling her how much she is enough and all these other things. I always feel like they're performative. I'm like, oh, he just laying it on thick. Because when my husband do stuff like that, I'm like, you just weren't speaking to me. Don't get in front of me. Get in front of everybody and want to talk shit. Like, oh, that's the way I feel whenever he does that. Because it's like light switch. Okay, let me turn it on. That's how I feel. So I'm like, okay, Steve. Okay, okay, maybe she needed to hear that, but it seems like he be laying it on thick.
Yeah, I agree.
So what do you think about Dr. Mimi and Steve in this scene?
I feel like the episode was mute for me. Everything about the episode was so
just sailing along, honey. Because the only part that I really just it was only maybe about 10 seconds or something. And what got me is what we're gonna talk about here pretty soon. We get on over there. We got Toya and Eugene. They're moving into Eugene's new office. So I don't know if this is going to keep him from having to travel so far, or is this the practice he's still trying to build up. So and he'd be moonlighting there or whatever, but it's closer to home and it's bigger, so he's not like just in a corner like would have been at Contessa's place. And it don't even look like Contessa's in her place because she's still in the Sprinter. So they're talking and she tells him to quit picking at his face, and he's like, she's being bossy. And she goes, well, I've been having to deal with these women about, the Met Gala. She's been planning it and stuff. And she was basically saying that she wouldn't get no help for nobody, and that Dr. Mimi actually founded one and she didn't offer her help at all. And then while she is talking, they showing the text where they were asking how could they help or whatever. And I said, I guess when you're going through something, everybody has their point of view. She's looking at it from this end, the other people are looking at it from the other end. So what do you think about Toya and Eugene? Yeah.
I was just, same. I'm just, look, we can get on down. I feel like nothing really took place.
Until we get to that Med Gala.
We can just really go to the Med Gala for me.
So we got Dr. Go ahead.
Good.
So we have Dr. Mimi and Dr. Heavenly also talking about the Med Gala and how they are not happy with the leadership. And then Dr. Mimi starts spouting off, have you had these different financial committee meetings, subcommittee meetings, board meetings, and all this stuff? And Dr. Heavenly's like, no, we ain't had none of that kind of stuff. Then they were saying that it wasn't transparent, and they feel like Toya was not respecting anyone. From there, we get to, look, I got notes all over the place.
Well, I'll chime in with that. I didn't like Mimi. Like, I have an issue sometimes with like people who, you kind of coming in on the back end. It feel like you just are really taking in other people's opinion about Toya, and then kind of using that.
Well, I think she's still mad because how Toya went off at her at her party.
Well, I think she is too, but I also still think, excuse me, that it still was like a disposed type of idea of Toya already. And so, even with the leadership thing, you still are piggybacking off of the idea that Toya doesn't do anything, i.e. having that conversation with Heavenly, because clearly that is Heavenly's thought of Toya, which she's made it plain and clear. But my point in general is just that if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. I agree that that there is some things, checks and balances that they probably needed to do. But at the same time, if you bowed out and didn't, offer, and I don't know if she asked, and because it sounds like you say, Toya wasn't giving them information. I don't have any reason to not believe all of the cast, that says the same thing. I think that they are probably saying something that's correct, close to the truth. But at the same time, it was just it felt like shitting on it. That's what, so yes. I really like that.
Yeah, because Contessa said, Toya just wanted to stamp TBH on it because it was her thing. Now we can talk about Contessa in this outfit she was trying on. I was watching season 9 today. I don't know how I missed out on season 9, but I think I've seen maybe clips and stuff online, but I don't think I ever watched it because it was all new to me. I'm watching it like it just happened. But when I was looking at season 9, I was like, because Dr. Contessa was a little heavier then. I go, Dr. Contessa was actually a pretty good. Not that she's bad looking now, but I just think with the little weight on her, she seemed to be a more attractive, I would think. I would say. And I just was kind of blown back just looking at her in her confessional. I mean, it wasn't nothing spectacular, but I was just looking at her face. I was like, oh, I really didn't pay attention.
So season 9, before she started doing the
this
bodybuilding,
is the season that she was getting ready for the bodybuilding.
Okay.
Yeah, before she started losing the weight. Okay. So I was like, oh, look at Dr. Contessa. I was just a little shocked. I was like, oh, okay. So, but anyways, as I was looking at this and seeing her and trying this dress on, I was like, I know good and damn well Scott ain't gonna let her walk out of that house with that damn dress on. I'm like, my husband would have snatched it off of me. I would have been naked and afraid. Like, where you think you're going in that? But anyway, so we can get, if you have anything to say about that, you can talk about it.
No, I thought the same thing. I'm like, I don't think she was gonna actually wear it anywhere, but she stood in the doorway for the scene.
Go ahead, Dr. Contessa. That's all I can say.
Mhm.
So we have Dr. Simone and her family doing dinner again. So Miles was a little nervous. I think he got PTSD, and he wanted to make sure they all were sitting in different seats because he did not want the same energy from the last time.
Mhm.
So basically, Dr. Simone apologized. Michael apologized. They all hugged, and Cecil apologized and says that he would make sure he has his wife's back. What you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I like that they came back together. The conversation seemed like it went well. Everybody apologized. I mean, of course, we know at this point that it did. Like nobody fell out that bad, I guess, or that is not still, I guess, going on.
Yeah, because she bought the car.
Right. So yeah, good deal.
So on to the Met
It was
Gala.
nice to see the boys at least kind of get to a place where they was able to acknowledge, like, hey, okay, we need to do better. And Michael saying like I am, which he is working somewhere. I can't remember where that video was from.
Girl,
I
look like
think
at a coffee
Chick-fil-A
shop or
or
something.
Huh?
Something. Yeah, something.
Yeah.
No. Got the rich boy down here getting some allowance money.
Mhm.
So then we have the Met Gala. So I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg, but I'm gonna go this route. We have Dr. Mimi and her husband on the way there, and they're talking about it. She's kind of taking digs at Toya. So when they do get there,
Digs that she wasn't even around to know about. That, you know what I mean? That's
girl,
kind of
she
what I
watched it
think.
on TV like
But
we did.
that's what I'm saying though. Like even still, even watching it on TV, it's just kind of like you still haven't really given this person a chance, But go ahead.
Girl, I think all best went out the window when she cussed her out, and then how she acted with her at Angel Sing when she told her to go over there because you're not wanted over here, something to that effect. Well, anyways, when she gets there, she looked around. Oh, this nice. Oh, it's had to like, oh, it's way better than I thought it was gonna be because they was looking.
And that goes back again to why I'm saying you have an idea with none of your own experience to back up with where your thought process would come from, because I don't think anybody had an issue with what the thing would turn out to be. Toya has thrown parties all year, all the years they've been on. She does well with that. Going back to the whole communication part of it, clearly this is part of why there was the lapse in communication, because for Toya, she's planning an event, right? So she ain't really needing y'all input about what to do and this and that. However, to Mimi's non-constructive criticism, because it would be correct after like now for somebody to come back in and say, okay, so in order to have this run a little smoothly, like we need to have XYZ, you know what I mean, put these things in place or whatever. But
yeah, also being the fact that they didn't even know where the event was until 48 hours before the event was taking place. So I forgot to mention that. Dr. Contessa told that.
I'll tell you what, I mean, like I feel like a lot of times, well, I guess it's me because I've been watching, these shows for so long. I feel like we sometimes get that mix of like the production part of it or the job part of it per se. And what I mean is, generally, I don't think many people will give off $2,500 randomly without knowing what they're giving it, to who they're giving it to or why. You know what I mean? Um, and so I think like sometimes we find ourselves watching something in which it's just been taken advantage of the little information that we don't really get to see. You know what I mean? Um because I don't like, and I don't know, I don't know what it is they would have thought that she was doing with the money. I can't, like, not to take up for Toya, like, because again, I feel like she could have came into this much more different, like just to put them at ease about anything. But at the same time, it was kind of like, what are y'all trying to imply, you know what I mean, about this situation? Like, she ain't telling us what she doing, she just want to spend our money. It's like, okay, the five of y'all, that's $10,000. I mean, I'm pretty sure you knew exactly where that went to. It's not like, you know what I mean, like, it's not like,
But they didn't know where the venue was until 48 hours.
well, I mean, now those things, again, that's what I mean about taking advantage of, like the information we have and don't have. Because I feel like generally, if you didn't trust the person, you would not have handed your money over anyway.
Yeah,
Now,
but
it made me think of um my class reunion, well, or lack thereof. Anyway, I've never been to a class reunion of mine. Now, our class was so small, and so that's probably half the reason why. It's just because it's all disorganized. However, a lot of places have gotten accustomed to doing the all classes, right?
yeah,
So one of the other classes, maybe the one that was 2 years under me, decided to put something together, an all class, and started to put things out to everybody. Cool, no problem. We get down to, it's a weekend, whatever. They got all the stuff that they want us to do, all of it. We get down to the payment, and the payment is a cash app. Now, I believe, kind of similar to Toya, this particular person went, opened up an account, you know what I mean? Like, did those little things, right? However, like I say, when it came down to the payment, it was just a cash app, no register here, no, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, why would I just send my money to a random cash app? You know what I mean? Like, without having some balance of what I sent it for, you know what I mean? Like, who is for, who is covering, all of that. So anyway, my point is, I never did send it. I don't think the thing even happened because I more than likely, maybe some other people may have felt, similar to it. But anyway, so I'm saying all that to say, you generally wouldn't send your money out or give anybody that type of money who you wouldn't have trusted anyway. So I thought it was just strange that they had this little, because the whole moving thing is funny, but I don't know why they have this thing about, like, almost kind of saying that they are like thieves. That's kind of the gist that I get.
I don't think she's, well, from what I guess they don't feel like she's that good with money.
Mm-hmm.
Point blank, period. All I know is when we have a family reunion that we do, and it's always big. And so ours is over 4 days. So usually when we have, like when my mom threw ours, you have to have all the money. So if you don't get the monies ahead of time, you still gotta, we have a big banquet, so it's formal. A formal banquet. We got the picnic. We got the picnic, the banquet. We have the meet and greet. You got the hotel that everybody's staying in. So when we had it in Houston one year, she just passed away. But honey, we just was like, what kind of banquet food is this? Because this is, we all dress. I mean, this is a formal banquet. So why is we eating beans and victuals? I mean, it was just crazy. I mean, our picnic was we went to the Astro game, Houston Astro baseball game, but that was kind of it. And we was up. What happened to the money?
Yeah.
Everybody was saying, because they wanted to know. We always plan this way. Plus, people had to help her out behind the scenes. Now, I've also helped plan the family reunion, like we just did the one in Las Vegas, and we did one in Kentucky the year prior. So, far as those kind of things, I know a lot of people, they want to know the itinerary. So only thing I had with Toya with the whole thing, I thought it was beautiful, but I noticed, I said, why is they serving chicken wings like that? I'm like, because it was
you in your dresses and stuff, like who wants to pick up a barbecue chicken wing to eat it?
I'm like, what? So that's where I think you need a committee, because what you might think is okay, like what my cousin did it was because the theme of our family reunion was the Russell gang. So she had it all set up like we're outlaws. Cool for pictures and all that stuff. We did play stuff. But when we do the banquet, we ain't expecting to be like we outlaws for the 1800s.
Yeah, exactly.
It was in Texas. We was like, what? We up in nice ball gowns and we eating this shit.
Yeah.
So I think Toya could have used another mind to like somebody to stop her and say, hey, no, you're not gonna be having people. You want people to come as living art, but then you want to serve chicken wings.
Well, it's interesting that why didn't anybody offer that though? Like if you put
she didn't tell nobody.
Yeah.
So and nobody knew nothing. I mean, that's why I think when Dr. Mimi,
I'm going back to Jackie. Like it's funny. Like, nobody knew nothing, but yet you got somebody who came to you and asked you to do it. So even like I'm like, that's what I mean. What does that look like? You just gave her.
She was the host, yeah. Like usually we have a committee with our family reunion. And like, okay, this year is supposed to be in New Orleans. My mom was like, have you heard anything? We've been would have had paperwork out, so you get registered. We haven't heard nothing. So I'm like, what's going on? Because it's usually in August, the first weekend in August.
Okay, so they pulling a Toya.
Yeah. So only thing I would say is, so when whoever's hosting, we don't like, we have a I always called it like the founders, basically. If you don't ask for help, we not doing it. So whoever the hosting city is or whatever, they supposed to set up their own committees or whatever. Only thing I would say, far as Mimi was concerned, was saying all these different committees, and when you having that 503c1 or whatever you call it, 501c3, you should have those types of committees in line. So that way, when you're doing stuff like this, because she took it as I'm planning a party and I'm planning this party. She didn't take it as I'm planning really the charity like this. So, because, when you maxing people pay $150 per seat and you serving chicken wings, I don't know. That's the only thing. Other than that, I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And Toya, I felt like she was coming down on other people about what they had on. I'm like, you ain't having no living art. I thought I was gonna see some, something all the way out the park, extraness. And the best we got was Contessa in that frame.
Right.
Because Brandy looked like she was very uncomfortable in that.
Yeah, she did.
I said back wide and everything. And I thought Dr. Simone, she tried. She looked like she was the belle of the ball or something. But yeah. So the whole thing, how did you feel about the situation with Steve and Eugene about the about not paying? Like their cast members, that was on the call sheet.
That's what, going back to, I feel like we sometimes end up watching stuff that, like is this blurred line between the job, right? And then what's real and proper and XYZ. Um, I would think that if you expected anybody to purchase a ticket, that you would have let them know. Now, it is not my understanding that, because it's my understanding that the tickets are the seats. And so if a person purchases a table, then they've purchased those seats at the table. Okay. So it sounds like what Steve and Mimi was coming in on Jackie's table.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where, like, so when Eugene was trying to explain, like, well, you still got to pay to get in, like, that's what's going, and it's like, well, no, that's what the tickets, like, that's what the tables and the tickets are for. So did you have another plan for donation? Because, right, if like me or Dr. Jackie, she bought a table, if it's got 10 tickets, then she's able to bring 10 people.
Yeah.
That's her contribution, because once she bring these 10 people, then whatever it is you got going on, whatever it is we participate in, like to raise this money, I done brought 10 people to the table, like to participate.
Yeah.
I thought so. With that being said, just like people, what did contestants say about going to people's house and then acting up and being put out? Same thing. It's like y'all in charge, like you kind of just waiting for a moment to be able to call somebody out about something. I thought it was poor taste. Same, no different than the way I thought what Heavenly did was poor taste. Okay, so before anybody even go there, like, because I thought what she did was poor taste, and I thought that was poor taste. Like,
because was they really
couldn't bring it up? Maybe you did want to know, but you could have pulled them to the side. You could, but to sit up and I probably would have left. Like, yeah, to sit up and like
embarrass me
about it at the door. Like, and again, same way I'm talking about the way that they, are questioning what she's doing with the money, like you a thief. That's the way you came at him. Like, you questioning him like he ain't good for
it. Oh, so that's why I got so tickled when they showed the clip from the reunion and Eugene asked him, why did you come? I'm like, because they on the call sheet. That's why I came. Damn it.
Right, it's a cast event. Yeah. Yes. And again, that it's just like the trip, like the cast trip. Like, yes, y'all can be fighting, but that all of y'all got to go there. You know what I mean? Like,
yes. I thought, okay. I just felt like Eugene was just doing way too much. And I don't know. And I can see.
Acting like a little kid.
Yes, but I don't know why he thinks Toya is some kind of damsel in distress. Like, I said, because Toya and, I already said it before, I think Toya and Heavenly are the same.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one may be worse than the other, but Toya and Heavenly pretty much are the same. They both messy as hell. Mm-hmm. And when Toya came over there and started speaking to Steve, and he was like, I don't speak with the women. Basically, I'm not going to have this argument with you. That's why I'm talking to your husband. Mm-hmm. And she said, letting him know, because you wouldn't even be going through this if you would have been paying, if you would have paid before. You wearing the, talking about how he wears the Louis Vuitton, if it's real or not. If it's real, if it's real, it's $5,000 or more. I'm like, you bought a whole fucking Birkin bag last season and wouldn't give nothing.
And didn't give him anything. Yeah.
So I guess it'd be the ones that don't want to contribute. And then when you in charge, you want everything to roll right. Mm-hmm. And I liked how after everything, when Dr. Simone came over to her and said, hey, you got to let the walls down. Forget what they're talking about over there. And basically told her, hey, don't ask nobody from this group for no more money.
That's right. But that's right. Like, you look crazy. Like, you really do. Like, you look crazy. And I'm glad you brought that up, because it made me remember, but back to Jackie and Simone's conversation, because that was one thing I meant to bring up. I really am like, it's time for Jackie to get in the hot seat. It's time for Jackie to really start owning up to her feelings or whatever her opinions are in some way. I'm not saying that she gotta cuss anybody out, but what I am saying is I am sick of this conversation that we watch her have, and it's always in this roundabout type of way,
Yeah.
because again, this is your baby. I The same way we watched Phaedra work with her about it, I can't imagine that she was. Now again, to say you reached out and met with somebody doesn't mean you got any more information about what it is that you was trying to get to. So I get that, but she doesn't declaratively state that. You know what I mean? And so it was nice to see Simone do that in that moment, right?
Yes.
Because again, like, that's some little shit that I don't really like either about people, is you'll have an opinion about something. And again, I know, I get, you want to, like, especially if it's your friend, you want to handle them with care. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so you're not trying to, like, scold anybody. But at the same time, at the point in which you having a doggone conversation with Jackie, I think it's time that you go ahead and have a conversation with her now. You know what I mean? Like, and I remember thinking that, like, well, when y'all gonna tell Toya? Y'all just gonna let the girl? So again, that goes back to this whole thing. Like, maybe this was all for the story. Maybe this how y'all ended up with a short season, because you really just left the girl out to dry on something that y'all have all put your stamp and name on, and say that it's very important. Because again, I'm not in disagreement with Toya not, contributing. Like I've said, she should have came into this much different, but it also should have been presented to her that way also. So a lot of times you can't even get mad at somebody, like, you didn't even tell her what the expectations were. Besides planning it, I guess that's what it seemed like, right?
Yeah. That's what it seems like.
So she did what you asked.
Yeah, she planned the party with lemon pepper chicken wings, barbecue wings, all of that. Because I'm like,
that's Atlanta's little staple. Don't they all do the lemon pepper chicken wings?
Yeah, they say that's what they do. I don't know. I ate it. This is it when I went there. So also during the Met Gala, we see Simone's son there, and he lets her know, "Hey, Mom, read my mind. I didn't speak to someone." And guess who? I hate when, like, if we're friends or even family members, I hate when just because you mad at me or I'm mad at you, I don't want the kids to get involved.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Now, I was okay with what he said. I think it's more so the Simone's.
I ain't fucking with her either.
Yeah, it was more her thing. You know what I mean? Like, because if my boys would do that, if it was something like that in my case, then I just would be like, oh, okay, or I'd be like,
don't
okay.
say it. Yeah, don't say it.
I'd be like, okay, but at the same time, it wouldn't be something that I would specifically encourage. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense. But if my son came and was like, I ain't fucking with so and so, cause like, oh, okay, cool, right, cool, cause you already know I ain't fucking with him, right? But I don't know, like, maybe that is encouraging. I don't know,
but yeah. So with the Met Gala and all the fundraising that they did, they raised $10,000 for the recipients. And the ladies were, one was a single mother and the other lady, I guess, was just a student. But I thought, wow, that was, the whole purpose was so they can get big sponsors. And hopefully once they sell the paints, the art, maybe they would give them more or something. I thought that was awful low.
I thought so too, but you got to start somewhere. So
last year they raised more. I mean, I ain't even talking about the part
Well,
that
yeah, they
Phaedra
raise
paid.
more.
Yeah.
When I say you got to start somewhere, what I do just mean is that, like you said, maybe they did, maybe people did buy art, and maybe that was something that was calculated after the fact, and maybe that is going into that pot to help put on
The next
next
year.
year, because like I said, at some point they got to get ahead
Yeah.
of the game in a sense where it's not everybody's money coming in to put it on, but you've been able to raise some money to help fund what you're doing. You know, like that's the point, right? I
Yeah.
think. I don't know.
Because I know, like, remember when they were planning it last year? I think Dr. Jackie had said like a goal of like maybe 30,000 or something, and then Phaedra bust out and said, "No, we can do 100, easy." And I said, "Well, I recognize that times are different now, so."
Well, Phaedra also came in and made up the rest
Oh
of,
yeah, yeah, oh yeah,
what,
definitely, yes.
I don't
I'm
remember
just,
how much it was, but I'm just saying,
I think
she came and
37,000.
cut that check herself.
So
Which clearly, after the discussions that we had, nobody was willing to do that.
yeah, because she said it though. That's why. Ain't nobody gonna do that. So I was just saying the total that they raised before Phaedra's 37,000. I think they raised 50 some.
Mm-hmm.
And this year they made raise 10.
I mean, what, I don't know. Yeah. Like,
They've been
yeah.
better off just doing a scholarship, not having a party, and just gave them the money they collected.
I mean,
Because I know they had to be in the hole.
like I said, it feels like there's a lot that we don't know. And if it is just as cut and dry as what it is they have given us, then yeah, you're right. They're going to be hosting their own party and it's not really going to grow. But I did see Andy say on Watch What Happens, like next time, like reach out to me because he said they never have, which here I go. They probably not reaching out to nobody. Clearly, you know what I'm saying.
They should have had at least
Here's the other part. Back to what they also was saying about Toya. If you don't know what it is you're about to be doing with the money, I guess you should not be, reaching out to nobody about it. I guess, but and I'm not saying that they had not raised, they had not had, directives for the money that they were raising, but I am talking about as an ongoing thing. This is something you are doing annually. I think there does have to get some structure down to it. And yeah, they raised 10,000. Okay, I don't know what to say about that. Honestly, you put somebody in charge who didn't understand the goal outside of planning the party, and I guess that was the point because y'all seem to talk about that all season. That you kind of knew that already. So I don't know what we're watching. You know what I mean? Like honestly, when it board, that's why I say now it's for me. It's going back to Jackie, like because
you let
what's
it out
happening
there.
there? You know what I mean? Like what's happening? Y'all argue with her about something y'all put her in charge of. I don't understand. Yeah, I don't get it.
But I do like the fact that when Heavenly grabbed the mic, she gave Toya her flowers.
Yes, she did.
And
Yeah,
so
that was good.
So how loud and she was last year, she was loud in this way this year. And I thought that was great because I imagine that it did look really nice in there. And I love all the black art. I loved it. So I thought, oh, that was nice. My only drawback was them chicken wings, but
Right.
Yeah. So, but I thought other than that, but let me tell you what grind my gears so much. When King walked in, because Quad came and she came with a good Judy guy. She come in with him, and then Steve had asked Quad where was King, and she said he was at a reception of his friends, a wedding reception. So when King gets there, he does look nice. looks very dapper. She tells him that. And I'm just like, so y'all went together because you would have seen what he had on, unless he went home and changed or something. But he didn't really respond. And then he didn't tell her she looked nice. So I'm not about to be giving y'all because I'm the prize. Not you. So, and I feel like if you came with an attitude, why even come?
Well, I think he was just filling out his contract, honestly. I told you, I'm gonna say it. Well, I'm talking between them. Like, I'm not even, suggesting that she paid him to be on the show.
No, I thought I'm talking about Bravo.
No, but I'm saying, like, I am still of the belief we watched them break up when they had that conversation. Even though we watched, and again, we don't. Some of this stuff did happen after certain things, but at the same time, we don't quite know the time frame of that conversation specifically. Honestly, because that could have happened at the end, and they could have put it, there. However, I believe that we watched, So none of that really surprised me because let me tell it, they broke up whenever that was filmed. Whatever week that was the last week they was together.
I mean, I want your ass to come here acting like Steve did. Come here. I don't care if we faking it for the camera, but don't come in here because I felt you can see it. I felt it. He didn't even want to dance with her. He said, not right now. You come into my event that you're on my platform and you don't want to dance with me.
Well, if that's the case, then that's what she gets. Maybe don't bring the next one on, because, and this is unpopular opinion. It's not going to sound all that nice. Because she, her IVF failed, and we in the season of, being empathetic about that for her. But let's just call a spade a spade. He got on here, and it felt like you brought him on here to save face because Dr. G was coming on with, oh girl, I can't. Sweetie tea. What was I about to say? Sweetie pie, sweet tea. So. And again, doesn't mean that you wasn't already seeing the man.
Letitia.
Don't mean, huh?
It's a Letitia. I was trying to remember her government name.
But all I'm saying is the appearance publicly, for me as a viewer, it appeared that you hurried up and scrambled and got him on. Also, the 15, like, I'm kind of like you when you say like Steve with him kind of laying it on thick. I'm of the belief a lot of times, and I get new love also. Maybe it's because I wasn't born in the same time with social media and things, but there are certain couples that can post in which there's a feeling of overload. And I feel like whenever, like, kind of same thing, whenever I kind of feel that, then I kind of, it take a little bit of the hopeful, romantic love thing, because it feels like you're trying to
sell us.
Yeah, and so I'll say the same, that like that's the way it felt when it came to King and Quad.
Okay.
It felt like you needed to let us know how in love y'all was. That's why y'all was screwing 15 times a day. That's why you made sure to let everybody know right in front of the ex-husband, like he wanted to hear that. You know what I mean? So all of that, for me, to be here is not even that surprising.
No, it's not. I'm just saying he should have acted differently. We on TV.
Clearly she didn't know the guy. So he acted the way he is. And you getting to know him the same way.
Like, oh my God. You telling him, you sure look nice. Oh, you look handsome. He just, I said, oh shit.
To laugh him at the wedding reception.
You ain't lying. He didn't have to come. You was doing just fine with your tall friend. But that's what thing I had noticed. I said, damn. Okay. And so, at the end, that we leave with Quad in the mirror in a confessional. They was
No king.
no king. They asking her what the future
And
may
what
hold.
she say might be somebody else. Maybe it's not King. Which
Mm-hmm.
that lets you know whenever she sat her ass down to film that they wasn't together.
Because even when they had them together filming, when she had on that same
It
dress,
didn't seem like it. Yeah,
yeah, they was.
I agree. The energy felt different. Like it felt like he was fulfilling an obligation.
Because he seemed very confrontational with her to me.
Yeah, and same. That's what that interaction at the Met Gala felt like. Like you was just fulfilling an obligation. Whose obligation? Well, clearly it's not ours. You know what I mean? But yeah, so must have been Quad's.
Girl, honey, once we would have been done, I don't care if we was filming. We've been done with. I wouldn't, because I would. Me, I'm always, I don't know what to expect from somebody. And this is a reality show. I don't know what the hell you might say. So once we done, we ain't got to fake shit. We just done. So that's how I would have did it. And because remember when she came in and said that he was
but Quad is a dramatic person too, because what I would think is, which goes back to what all of their problems had always been with Quad, which is she will basically have things going on in life that she don't share with them. So I'm saying this to say it probably, as far as like the obligation, it probably had nothing to do with the audience per se, more so than not wanting to answer the question due to filming, and then now having you know what I mean, to have it all out, that way. And go through whatever anybody would have to say about it, because you got to go through your own grieving process, not just the baby and that thing, but you gotta come back and think about, right, like how you brushed this man in and sold him off to everybody, and where is he at? You know what I'm saying? Running around, can't wait to try to talk shit about you.
Exactly. Because I'm like, dang, he all in the comments and letting people know. We figured something had happened because we didn't see him no longer on social media together, but he couldn't keep the mouth closed, honey. He was just replying to anybody. So I said, well,
so that's what I think. So she got the first chair. We'll get to the reunion. And I mean, I expect her to give us a very political type of answer, about, them just being in different spaces and not on the same page about stuff, which we already know that because we watched that,
So and also, I forgot to mention about Curtis giving his non-apology apology, I think, because he said if, and Jackie corrected, and I know if you did. If I offended you, but that's his belief. I'm like,
I thought Jackie, that was hypocritical, because you sure wouldn't apologize to that lady Buffy. You kept telling her if.
Yeah, I don't think she liked Buffy.
She didn't, but I'm just saying, again, going back to this is different for y'all to kind of be kissing Quad ass the way you are. But like you said, that's our patient. I didn't think about it that way, so maybe there's that little extra level.
Also, because what did Quad say? She said for him to come off, so self-righteous and judgmental. I said, yeah. He who had a 27-year-old girlfriend walking her through the busiest airport in the land. With her, did he have his hands in her pocket or something?
Like on her waist or something, I think.
I said, look at this here. Knowing that you're going to be observed because you're so tall. So it's already going to be like, oh, that big tall guy. But no shame in his game. So, yeah, I just thought,
Well, I was going to say that's what's funny is that you would, but that, that's how people are. They will forget what they have done or been through Um, but I'm just thinking with Jackie and Curtis, it wasn't. I think that was just last season, right? They didn't want to go to Hilton Head
No.
because that's where he was at, right? But the thing,
Mhm.
so that just one short year ago. So here's the deal, like you ain't forgot that happened. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just 1 year ago, y'all couldn't even go back to the same place
Go to
where it
Hilton
took
Head.
place. Speaking of, did you hear because I think that was them. I feel like I wasn't looking at the TV, but I feel like it was them getting out the car and she said something about his.
Yes, his pants was unzipped. Like, what was you doing, Dr. Jackie?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lord
And
have
so I'm
mercy.
like, oh, okay, here we go. Yeah, you better act like you getting some or something so you can keep the eyeballs off of you because what's going on over there?
Girl.
But okay, okay, Curtis, and with that allegation, with what you said, hopefully it ain't a damn thing going on. Hopefully you going over to Colombia, Dominican Republic,
Dominican
wherever the hell it is you going, and you being a good boy.
I don't.
Hopefully, I mean, well, with those things just falling out of your mouth to people, I hope so.
Girl, he said he's seeing daily.
That, like I said, that's and that really annoys me sometimes. Like that's I it's funny. I have been thinking. I feel like just all maybe this month or maybe these last few weeks, and maybe just reflecting is more so. But so it's like I realize some of that's kind of my interaction with certain people because I've been privy to um how they behave. You know what I mean? I don't know how
Mhm.
to say it that way, like but and not in the malice. It's just the fact of I've just been able to observe you, like
Mhm.
so there's a trust level that well, and I'm not gonna use the words I don't trust, but I can only trust you for what it is what I know you what
To
Mia
be.
may say, like trust what you know a thing to be. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
If
and
you're a
so
snake,
that's
I know
why
you're a
I
snake.
right, yeah. So that's kind of like if you say like you on your way going over to somebody's house and you like talking all kind of crap and then you get there and now you and everything is cool, and I'm kind of like, oh, okay,
Mm.
like
Yeah.
like, and don't get me wrong, I'm okay with I know how to go along to get along. You know what I'm like I do like yeah, some people you whatever withhold, I guess might be the word. But at the same time, I don't generally operate that way. And a lot of what I've been thinking about is the fact that that's kind of always been me. That's been something in me. So it doesn't really open up a lot of room to have a lot of closeness. You know what I mean? Like little bits, but not a lot. Because, like the way people behave and act, and I'm like, I'm good on that. Like,
Exactly. So
good
yeah.
on that. Like, mm-mm.
Especially when you got me feeling a certain type of way.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I like
especially
a little bit of, upfrontness.
yeah, especially when you're being self-righteous and
Yeah,
judgmental,
yeah,
and you're
yeah.
committing worse
But
things than I
that's
did.
the thing. Like, and that's what I say. It's funny with Curtis doing that because a lot of people do that because they feel like you
You
don't
don't
know.
know.
Right. Yeah. So they've not been exposed. And that's why I say, well, for Curtis, like that was just last year. Y'all couldn't go to him here. Y'all had to have a whole, whatever hour discussion, however long it took y'all to come to, the agreement that y'all would go.
Uh-huh. Because who did wait a minute. When they went to Hilton Head, who came in last? Was that Heavenly?
Yeah.
Heavenly and
Because I feel like Heavenly was pretty much saying she wasn't gonna go if they weren't going.
mm-hmm. So
Mm-hmm.
well. So there you have it. We have the season finale. It's over with. We feel like we've been shortchanged.
Yeah.
Um, oh, Brandy came, not Brandy, Angel came, and Dr. Heavenly said she was a work of art.
Oh, okay.
Living art. Yeah, that's what she said.
We
She was
didn't see her, did we?
she had on a black dress. She was there.
Okay,
She
okay,
had too much to say, but she was there. So,
okay.
and Brandy was making herself seen, but I thought, oh my goodness, I don't know what kind of dress this was, but the corset part, I mean, it was just too wide in the back. There was too much open.
They couldn't pull that thing together. Huh?
So, she's kind of pissed off that nobody else wearing nothing there. And she's like, I could have worn my regular dress. And Contessa tickled me with that picture frame.
Mhm.
But all in all, we're done. It looks like from the clips, it looks like the reunion is going to be kind of interesting. We're only going to
It
get
is gonna be two parts.
two parts. And as you know, they're trying to hurry up and get them done because they're going to have a Real Housewife and Real Housewives of New Rhode Island on Sunday.
Well, yeah, I knew they was coming out with a new one. I guess I'm gonna watch them.
I thought so they hadn't started yet. I thought they started already.
Mm-mm.
No, okay.
No, so generally, usually that what I always try to remember about Housewives is they usually do have two running kind of simultaneous, but generally if one is ending, then somebody else should be starting.
Yeah.
And the deal is Rhode Island is able to just kind of squeeze on in because this usually, even though we're a couple weeks out from Atlanta, but generally Atlanta will be coming back around this time. And then without Jersey, and it's another one, New York. Without either one of them, there's nothing else that would coincide right now. So, Rhode Island really just got the little squeeze in. I'm really starting to look at Bravo with a raised eyebrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And really it's kind of because going back to, y'all gonna hear me say it all the time. I've been a reality TV buff since the beginning. And same with Bravo. Like I watched the whole channel become a channel, right? Like, because I don't even think, if I'm not mistaken, for some reason, and maybe it was just a fluke. Maybe they just premiered them on NBC, but then the rest of it end up going to Bravo. Because for some reason, I want to say Orange County came on NBC first for some reason. But anyway, either way it go, my point in saying all of this is as the evolution goes and they start to bring in our cast, right? Because we, like I say, we get Atlanta. Atlanta blows the Housewives off the map. Not that they did not have franchises before, but only the people who was watching knew who the hell them people was, And so I'm saying there was a whole nother audience that got introduced to Housewives, period, because of Atlanta. And so with that, we got Summer House. I watched Summer House. They canceled Martha's Vineyard because they brought in a Martha's Vineyard. Then we got Southern Charm. I watched Southern Charm. I've watched Southern Charm since they began. They brought in a New Orleans Southern Charm. Somehow that gets axed, right? Nobody know about it. They had the Blood, Sweat, and Heels, but that didn't. For me, what I'm getting to is the Black programming. Like really being shortchanged the way that it does.
Yeah.
It's really kind of getting on my nerves.
Yeah.
Like I feel like even as a Black audience member, I feel like I've been pretty damn not patient is not the word. I think reasonable about what it is y'all give us. I just don't understand why it is that when you give us something of some substance, why we can't keep it. Like you got 15 million below decks. How many damn below decks do we need? Now,
Girl,
I watch Below Deck, but I'm just saying, like, who the fuck is really watching Below Deck for real?
girl,
Because
it
I
just be
Below
on.
Deck on when I'm cleaning up. You know what I'm
Girl,
saying?
I better fell asleep with the TV on Bravo and wake up the next morning, Below Deck
Like,
Mediterranean is on or something.
I do watch Below Deck. And let me tell y'all why. Below Deck gives me my little bougie vibe. So it gives me like it gives me some ideas about what I need to be doing when I go out. When I like, if I ever get to charter yacht, like what to expect. But I'm not running, keeping up with it every week. You know what I'm saying? Like I just put it on randomly, whatever. But I am saying also, who the fuck is watching it? Because right. And why do y'all
Like,
have 4 or 5 franchises and
is
none
it
of
like
them canceled?
when I think of that, is that Jacques Cousteau or whatever, Lifestyle of the Rich and Famous?
Yes,
What I
yes,
think
yes,
it
yes.
is.
Yes, right. That's why I say I get my bougie little fix watching them. But yeah, and so that's what. So I'm like, Bravo just really kind of is starting to irritate me. I noticed with Beverly Hills, after each episode, they put in the watch what happens. It seemed like y'all trying to boost like whatever they're. I would guess that's the only reason why you're doing it, right? Is to boost the ratings for when those housewives are on. Do the same for ours. Boost theirs.
Yeah.
You know, I know that this might be me just I might be reaching on this one. But sometimes when I go to Peacock, I don't know why my shit not sitting up there ready and available for me. Why the hell do I ain't gotta search for none of these other damn shows? Why the
You
fuck I
ain't
gotta
never
search for
lying.
them?
You sure do. I'm
Now, like
like,
I
what
said, I
is
might be
this?
reaching, but I sure think
I noticed that.
seriously.
And then they have like, even on Peacock, they have like For You, and they have all this shit that I had never even watched before.
That's what I'm saying. You got where's the stuff that I got that's a new episode that I just watched. Where's that
I
at?
don't never see that stuff. You have to go search for it. Cause I'm like, same thing I noticed. I said, cause and I'm not, but only thing I really watch on Peacock is the black shows. So you shouldn't be suggesting shit else to me.
They suggest a lot to me, but I know, but like to your point, I know how this shit works. So I know if a new episode come up, that shit should be popped up, right? Because I done already watch, you know what I'm saying? Watch some of this stuff. But like, so I'm mad at the suggestions. I'm just mad at why you ain't got my stuff that I watch ready for me.
I have to scroll down to find it.
I like say I'm looking at them with, like I said, with a raised eyebrow in that sense, because I'm just a little sick of it. I really enjoyed Martha's Vineyard. I should have did the reviews, but I didn't even get a chance to do a review on there. They had 2 seasons, but it was good.
So Martha's Vineyard, they came out during the time that
Yes.
You know what I'm about to say.
Yep. But the deal is New Orleans, the Southern Charm New Orleans did not. Southern Charm New Orleans, it's been a while. It's been a while when they brought them out. But they were good. Now, it may have been, I don't know, it may have been some cast stuff that might have got in the way with them. I'm not sure. They never said nothing. They just never came back.
Let's put them on pause, huh?
Yeah. Then you got the black girl sitting over there with the all white cast having identity crisis because they don't know how to be black with all these damn Republican white people.
I hate that. I really, really do hate that when they do that. I mean, if you're going to do a diverse cast, I think it should be diverse all the way. Don't be the only one, because then I'm about to probably flip it and be really ghetto. Just so you know.
But, I think that
I don't like that.
I don't either. But so Southern Charm is one with the girl Vanita, and then Summer House. So the original Summer House, they finally got, I think they got 2 now, but the first one was Sierra. The deal for me sometimes becomes, because it's not even about the diverse cast, it's just more so the environment that you have them in, right? So on the summer house, they go out to the Hamptons, which again, Martha's Vineyard, we all know to be the Black Hamptons, appropriately for a Black cast. You know what I'm saying? But so, and then with Southern Charm, they are in Charleston. That's where they film at. So I'm saying that there's a culture there already. So when I see the all white cast, I ain't really tripping. But when I get Vanita on there coming in with her natural hair, you want to go to the Kentucky Dirt, like you stick out like a sore thumb with this group of people. And it's not anything like, because she wants to be very like ethnically aware, so that because that's the reason why I mentioned her natural hair.
So they were going to the Kentucky Derby.
Well, that's the type of events and stuff that they have.
I mean, a lot of Black people at the Kentucky Derby, though.
Well, they're not in Kentucky. They where they at. Right?
Oh, okay.
But I was kind of throwing that out as a reference, okay. Right? Like that's the type they do, like polo events and all, like that type of stuff. And yeah, I'm sure it's Black people there too, but Vanita there. But I'm also saying that you can visibly see her wanting to be Black, but you are in this space with everybody else who they don't have to even, because they don't, like, it's not a concern of theirs, so you still stick out. You know what I mean? Like you don't fit in with them. Because you still are trying to make sure that we actively see you as Black, as if we wouldn't be able to know that. Now Sierra on the other end.
So you said she's having an identity crisis. Is she mixed, perhaps? Or
no, she Black.
Okay.
Oh, she Black. Like African Black. But and when I say, because that's the reason why I keep going back to her natural, because what I'm saying is that as you are in this sharing these spaces with these people, you don't show up like there's no commonality. Not that, I would think that to be on an ensemble show, I would think you would want some, but then it gets uncomfortable if something gets done, because now you're the only Black person. So when Craig go ahead and go off and cuss you out, now that look different. Even though he done cussed out all kind of white girls on this show all day long. That's what he do. You know what I'm saying? But when he do it to you, it looked different.
Yeah. I think the same feeling people were feeling about Riley being on NYC, and how, because even when she got to crying, when they were trying to say, like what she was doing, like was aggressive or whatever. And because the one girl said that Riley, because she wouldn't shake her hand, but the girl didn't wash her hands. I'm like, and like I said, I hate it when I see where, we always have to kind of pivot or whatever and, code switch when we in certain spaces, whatever, but they can just go ahead and be who they are and act how they do. Yeah, of course it would look different for a white guy to be cussing out a Black girl on national TV, even though he done cussed out every other white girl, and the same thing if she cussed.
But I do think too, there's a responsibility about the spaces you occupy. Like you can't have it both ways. You know what I'm saying? So you either gonna be in or you out, right?
If I'm in, I'm just gonna be authentically me.
Yeah,
and whether they like it or not, or you gonna get with it, I'm going to be me. I can't. And no matter where I go, I'm Black. So I don't care if I talk, where you didn't think I was Black, but you can see this skin. You know what it is. So culturally, people may be different. especially when you're dealing with people, you got Black immigrants, they don't always assimilate with us, so they culturally different. But yeah, another YouTuber was talking about how they were really kind of getting tired of Bravo, the way they switch it up on these Black shows, and so I don't know. When I did see the clip of, I thought Rhode Island was on. I said, shit, all the ladies look alike.
Yeah, that's what the saying is. I
Yeah,
mean,
I couldn't tell
well,
the
I
difference.
guess that makes sense because I feel like that's probably. I mean, they probably do all look, familiar, all just in general. Like I mean, that there are certain areas in which when you see a person, you can almost kind of guess that where they might be from. And I think Jersey, that little area,
No, they aesthetically look the same. I mean, they just look, they look like cousins.
Like they all went to the same doctor.
Yeah. Did you ever? Yeah. Once they show that picture of Beyonce little pre-K class or whatever, and everybody like they related. That's what I mean. I couldn't tell the difference. I mean, maybe if I really studied them, I can tell. But just glancing, I said, oh. And they all are white, right? Just tanned up and everything, right?
I guess.
So,
I would, I don't know, maybe Armenian and stuff, it get all off into
right.
I feel the same, like it's all to me, but
we know they non-Black or whatever.
Right.
So I guess so. Real Housewives of Atlanta will be back on the 5th.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll have Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm.
So, honey, I don't know. So I'm looking forward to the reunion of Married to Medicine.
I'm just glad there's 2 parts. Thank God. Like, let's go ahead and normalize
that. Yeah.
That. Like, we don't have to do 3 parts. If it ain't 3 to do, going to wrap it up in 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. So like Steve, them going to be working.
Well, we shall see. And I feel like they're going to get on my nerves because I done gave them props about, just sharing their story with their son and everything. But, I don't, hey, Mom, I don't really care for the whole calling Eugene Mr. Harris. Those are, and especially among 2 men, those are very, very disrespectful things, and maybe it's just me kind of feeling bad for Eugene because, like I said, it feels like that whole Will Smith type of deal, enough already. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not wanting to see him get to some place that maybe he end up being out of character, like we don't expect him to be, because that's just, y'all just need to cut it out.
Yeah. Well, I think so, but I think Eugene was doing way too much.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I wonder for them to still have that kind of aggression at the reunion. I'm like, what all was really said at that damn Met Gala that for Steve to still come in on edge, Eugene to kind of come in on edge? Why? Because if it was...
But that's the reason why I'm kind of saying, like, it feels like there's something like that y'all have, they have, like, to your point, maybe it happened off camera or something, but it just seemed like y'all just had a idea about them already the first time that, like, that they pissed you off. Now you just, like, just to the floor with it. Like, I don't know. Because, like, even for that, even like you say, that energy we saw on the reunion, it just, like, where is that coming from? Why are you calling this man's manhood out? Like, I don't know. If, like, is he trying to punk him? See, that's what I mean. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's kind of the way it feel. It feel like you are pulling.
I can't wait till we see the whole thing, because I just feel like Eugene's on a mission this damn season to prove he's no punk. So because he came,
Well, maybe so, because
he
that's
came at
everybody go
Damon.
to. Yeah, that's everybody go to.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. He came at Damon when Damon did not want to talk about it. What they saying?
I feel like it is interview with Toya and Eugene because she was talking about Eugene.
I feel like what interview?
Yeah, what interview? Give us some more. Well, the reunion hasn't come on yet. The reunion come on next week, but we was talking about the clip.
Mm-hmm.
The clip they showed.
Yeah, so I'm watching season 9, and so I saw where Toya mentioned about how she thought, they asked about him not growing or getting any
Yeah.
bigger, So I said, well, he probably been mad ever since season 9, and I'm like, so I feel like that. I don't know. I feel like the man is stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like that he's stressed out. He's working these jobs hours away, and I don't know.
And then you got somebody always trying to pull your card about your manhood while you out here working and taking care of your family.
Well, I think because he's in the mix.
I mean, I keep trying to think. I keep trying to say, is he? Because the reason why I'm saying, Carlos King interview.
Yeah, okay,
I watched that interview, but shoot, I watched so much in between. Then I feel like I can't even remember what they talked about on there.
I watched it too.
But like, I keep going back to, because like, what Dineva say, you can't do something wrong to somebody and then tell them how mad to get. Like, no, he was pulled into beefs between Heavenly and Toya. Now, to your point, like I said, I don't disagree that it's Toya's her actions and what she said, but Heavenly calling out her husband and, well, my husband got a big D. Like, she's done that ever since, and so what I'm saying is, it is then that you pulled him in, because even if it's a back and forth between y'all, why would either one of y'all, same about the kids, why would either one of y'all be having anything to say about the other one's husband? Neither one should. I don't see Toya saying anything about Damon. So when it comes to going back to Damon being able to keep his hands clean and stay out and just let Heavenly do whatever, because ain't nobody pulling Damon's card. If somebody was, like when Mariah tried to, right? When she said, I got the receipts. Like, I know somebody that he been fooling with.
Oh, she gonna say something at the reunion though. Toya is about Damon.
Well, I guess so, but but I'm going back to then. That was the only time Damon got up and had something to, kind of say, in a sense. Not to Mariah, but I think it was to Aiden. But I'm just saying, like, because that is what that is. When you having an argument with some fucking body else and you pull my fucking name into it, you done brought me into it. You done pulled me to the carpet. And so at that point, like, that's some old, like, again, we go into these manipulation tactics and shit because he's a man. Now that's the only, like, argument that you have is that, well, he shouldn't have anything to say because it's two women arguing. You never should have had nothing. You shouldn't have put your mouth on that man, period. Like, so once you've done that, you can't, all the rules are done.
But did she say his name? She said, my husband has a big thing.
Say it's semantics all you want. What I'm saying is, he has a reason to be pissed off. And I agree, Toya has not done a great job of defending him in any way. But I guess like you said, he just sick of it. And you know what they tell you, like, sometimes you might have to boss up, like, so a person can leave you alone.
Yeah, because when I was watching season 9, And I thought it was funny. So, but because even Cecil said it was funny when they came dressed up as the movers.
Oh yeah,
And,
that was hilarious.
and
That
I didn't
was
understand why
hilarious.
Eugene got so mad though.
Oh, he was pissed,
I
honey.
said,
But
so did
that
they
was
have to move
hilarious.
out of obligation? Because I thought they
Mm-hmm.
were just moving because Toya wanted another house.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like
You
the way
know what
he,
I think? Well, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I said, what it seems like to me that something may have, the way I took it watching it, I thought that maybe something was a little bit more because he really didn't take he was upset with what's his name?
I can't
Carrie.
remember. Yeah.
Carrie. And I go, wow, he really mad. It was a joke. And I didn't,
I
I didn't
think
think it was
what
that
it
big.
boils down to, just like what everybody had to say about Heavenly, with her YouTube page. And I feel like in that season, I feel like
They did.
Eugene did explain it to Carrie when they went to do axe throwing or something. I think that's what they did after that happened.
He
But
tried. Carrie still thought it was funny though.
no, he did.
No.
But I feel like the point is nobody wants to feel like their friend has disparaging thoughts about them. That's kind of what I'm going from about. I recognize how I like my trust levels of people because I get to experience how they operate, right? And not everybody operates in a trustworthy space in a sense. Like, yeah, having disparaging thoughts, right, about your friends. You know what I mean? Like, and some stuff might be usual, but some stuff is disparaging, and so I think with them being new, Toya kind of scooping her on up and they becoming friends. I think he was offended by Carrie basically taking it upon himself to use his friends as the butt of a joke. Now, again, was it funny? Yes, it was funny. It was funny because it was something. He poked fun at something that we all had poked fun at, but that's kind of how sometimes you end up on the wrong side because maybe it was too soon. Like you ain't been here long enough to have that type of joke, right? Like maybe somebody else can. I don't know, but yeah, but he was pissed off. And that's what I think it was really about. That's what I mean. Like Dr. Heavenly just don't understand. Like your friends don't, Contessa, your friend doesn't want to feel like you sit up and think she dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Who want to have a friend who feel that way about them?
And that's how Heavenly feels about Toya. She said it.
Which is why they're not friends.
Toya was a dumb ass. I said, damn. Right there with Toya was there.
And so that's like, and here comes Steve. Like you barely got in, but it feels like you taking a shot at the easiest target because that's what everybody else is doing. And Eugene gonna get up and slap the shit out of one of them. They don't cut it out. Like
He was hot. And
nothing is off limits between these women on the show because they all run their mouths. No one is better, and no one is off limits. Okay, no one. Well, they the ones that's always hollering at the kids is off limits, and I would go as far as to say the husband should be too, because the husbands or the kids ain't signed no contracts to be there. I agree with you. Nothing should be off limits between the women, but the people who ain't there for that, they should be left out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so girl, so look, I'm still watching season 9. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting here tickled to death. I'm like, oh my goodness, but I just watching it and I was like, oh, I just didn't realize that he was, that upset him so. Mm-hmm. And because like I said, I thought, they just moved because Toya wanted to move.
Mm-hmm. But it was funny.
Yeah, it was funny. I thought, and I thought it was.
Talking about we can't hear that's the movers. You hauling everything like. Okay.
So yeah, but that's it.
And the funny thing, even with that, is I believe they did end up moving again.
Yeah, they did. They're in this house they're in now.
Mm-hmm.
Or did they move it? No, after they moved out of that rental,
I
they
think
moved.
they in the same subdivision, but yeah, they moved out of that house. That's what I mean.
Yeah. And I'm like, so she sold out because I'm about to get to the one where Audra and her have it out. Yeah, about the I guess she was getting tired of Toya talking about her clothes. But yeah, so I remember when the episode aired, I seen that one, but the whole the whole season, I was like, oh, I don't know what the world I was doing, but I think Trump was in or something. I was watching MSNBC. Oh yeah, but that's it. That's all we got. So we'll be back with our reviews from the reunion.
Yep.
Airs on Sunday.
Don't forget to go over to the community tab so you can place your votes for our Married to Medicine Housewives Awards. So we'll do it. Since they're only doing 2 parts, we'll do it during part 2.
Okay. During part 2.
We'll announce what we got from the poll, what the winners are. So make sure y'all subscribe to the channel so you can go to the community tab and place your vote.
Yes, honey. So then after that, we'll be getting ready for Real Housewives of Atlanta. So
we'll be bringing this season.
Yes, honey. So that's it. That's all. Thank you for joining us on our live. And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. Good night.